Hope, honey, why are you crying?
The janitor froze, her rag pressed to the glass. She hadn't realized she was crying until Marlene spoke.
I don't even know why I know that song.
Down the hall, behind a half-open door, Elliot Sinclair stopped breathing. Because the woman humming in his hallway was singing his dead wife's lullaby. Singing it the exact wrong way Hannah used to sing it. On purpose, as a joke between them. A joke nobody else in the world had ever known about. He stood up, walked to the door, looked down the hall, and Elliot Sinclair, who had buried his wife 5 years ago, stared at the janitor mopping his floor and saw Hannah's face staring back at him. Hey, beautiful souls, welcome to Vicky Tale. If you're part of this family already, if you're subscribed, thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're new here, welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Let's begin. Elliot Sinclair, a man who buried an empty coffin, built a powerful pharmaceutical company while he was grieving, and believed he would never love again. Until one Tuesday night in October, he heard a janitor humming a song that only one woman had ever sung. A song that was supposed to have died with her. What Elliot was about to discover would destroy his life, reveal that the person closest to him was hiding something evil, and teach him that sometimes the dead are not really gone. Get your tissue, family. This story will hurt before it heals. 5 years earlier, Snoqualmie Pass. February, a snowstorm that the weather forecast did not fully predict. Hannah Sinclair was driving home from a science conference in Spokane. She wanted to fly home, but Elliot was worried about the weather. That morning, she laughed on the phone and said, "Honey, I have driven this road many times. I will be home by 10. I will bring you soup." Those were the last words Elliot ever heard from her. At 9:47 p.m., a large truck lost control on the road going downhill. It hit a Subaru car. The Subaru lost control and hit Hannah's Audi. Hannah's car broke through the guardrail and fell down a very steep hill into a deep ravine. The place was so dangerous that the rescue team could not reach the car until the snow melted in April. When they finally found the car, the driver's seat was empty. The car door had been torn off by a tree. The investigators believed Hannah had been thrown out of the car during the crash. They believed the melting snow carried her body into the Snoqualmie River, which would eventually flow into the ocean. The Coast Guard searched for 2 weeks. They never found her body. Elliot buried an empty coffin in May. His brother Damon stood next to him, holding his shoulder and crying more than anyone else. Damon gave the funeral speech. Damon organized the flowers. Damon packed Hannah's clothes 3 weeks later because Elliot could not bear to touch them. "I am here for you, big brother," Damon always said. "Anything you need." Elliot believed him because Elliot was broken. He had lost weight because he could not eat. He felt empty inside, and he trusted his brother back to the present. "Sir, can I help you?" The janitor, Hannah, Hope, whoever she was, stepped back slowly. She looked confused. She looked like a normal worker, wondering why a rich man was staring at her like he had seen a ghost. Elliot opened his mouth, but no words came out. "Sir, are you okay? Should I call someone? What is your name?" She blinked. "Hope. Hope Bennett." "No," Elliot said, his voice shaking. "That is not your name." "Excuse me?" "Your name is Hannah. Hannah Margaret Sinclair. You were born in Tacoma on April 12, 1983. Your mother's name is Margaret. Your father's name is David. You have a scar behind your left knee from when you fell off a horse in school. You cannot whistle. You cry when you see dog food advertisements. And the song you were singing, you usually sing it wrong, because I told you once that the sky in Seattle is not blue." The mop fell from her hands and hit the floor. Hope, Hannah, stared at him with fear. How do you know those things about me? I don't even know those things about myself." "What?" "I don't remember my mother. I don't remember my father. I don't remember where I was born. I don't remember anything." Her hands were shaking badly. "I woke up in a hospital in Yakima 5 years ago. I did not know my own name. A nurse called Bennett took me home because I had nowhere to go. She called me Hope because she said I needed hope." Elliot felt weak. He held the door so he would not fall. 5 years ago? In February? Yes. After a snowstorm? Yes. They found me walking on a road near Clay Elam. I had no shoes, no coat, no memory. The doctors said I hit my head. They said I was lucky to be alive. Oh my God, Elliot whispered. Sir, please, you are scaring me. Hannah, it is me, Elliot. I am your husband. She stared at him. For one short moment, something moved in her eyes, something familiar, something deep, like her body remembered him even if her mind did not. Then the feeling disappeared. I don't have a husband, she said softly. I am sorry. I don't know you. She stepped back. She turned around. She walked quickly away. Then she started running. She left the mop bucket behind. She left the cleaning cart behind. She left Elliot Sinclair standing alone. The elevator doors closed, and Elliot, billionaire, CEO, powerful man, slowly sat on the floor and cried like a child. He did not go home that night. He called Andre. Andre Whitmore had been Elliot's driver for 11 years. Before that, he worked as a military investigator. He was 61 years old, strong and very loyal. Andre. I need you at the office now. Sir, it is midnight. Hannah is alive. There was silence. I will be there in 20 minutes, Andre said. When Andre arrived, Elliot was still sitting on the floor in his suit, still crying quietly. Andre did not ask questions. He sat beside him and waited. She is a janitor, Andre, Elliot said. She has been cleaning my office. How long has she been here without me knowing? Sir, start from the beginning. Elliot told him everything, about the song, about her face, about the hospital, about her memory loss. Andre listened carefully, then he said something frightening. Sir, Yakima is 3 hours away from the accident. A woman with a serious head injury cannot walk 3 hours barefoot in a snowstorm. Someone moved her. Elliot felt cold inside. What? Someone found her. Someone put her in a vehicle. Someone left her on a road where she would survive but not remember who she was. Why would someone do that? Then Elliot stopped talking because he realized something terrible. Andre, when Hannah disappeared, who handled everything? Andre looked at him seriously. Your brother, sir. Elliot did not sleep that night. Early in the morning, he went to the HR office of the cleaning company that worked with Sinclair Pharmaceuticals. I need the file of an employee, Elliot said. Hope Bennett. The HR manager looked surprised. That information is confidential, sir. Elliot placed a check on the table. She quickly opened the file. Hope Bennett. Hired 5 years ago. No resume, no references. Cleared by a doctor in Yakima. Someone paid her rent and deposit. She has always worked only at Sinclair Pharmaceuticals. Only here. Yes, someone requested she work only here. Who? She checked the file. The referral name is D. Sinclair. Elliot felt weak. D. Sinclair. Yes, he calls every month to confirm she is still working here. He even asked that she work night shifts so she would not meet many employees. Elliot held the table tightly. I need you to keep this secret, Elliot said. He placed another check on the table. Keep her schedule the same. Do not tell my brother anything. Yes, sir. Elliot went home, to the empty house he once shared with Hannah. He went to the attic where Damon packed her things after the funeral. He searched through boxes, clothes, books, memories. He was looking for one item, her jewelry box. Inside it was something very important, her hospital bracelet from the day she was born. When he found the jewelry box, the bracelet was missing. Someone had taken it. Elliot finally understood. Damon removed the only proof that could identify Hannah. Damon made sure no one could connect the missing billionaire's wife with the unknown woman in Yakima Hospital. That night, Elliot waited in the parking garage. At exactly 9:47 p.m., Hope walked out pushing her mop bucket. Hope, Elliot said. She stopped but did not turn around. I promise I will not scare you, Elliot said. I just want to ask one question. She slowly turned. Do you have a scar behind your left knee? Her face became pale. How do you know that? Do you have it? Yes, it looks like a horseshoe. Elliot began to cry again. Hope, I know you do not remember me, but someone knew you were alive and hid you from me for 5 years. I need your help to prove it. Please give me 10 minutes. Hope looked at him quietly. A woman without a past. A wife who did not know she was a wife. 10 minutes, she said softly, and for the first time in 5 years, Elliot allowed himself to feel hope. Because Hannah was alive, and someone was about to answer for what they did to her. Picking up from the parking garage. Hope sat across from Elliot in an all-night diner on Madison Street, both hands wrapped around a mug of coffee she wasn't drinking. She hadn't taken off her coat. She kept glancing at the door. 10 minutes, she said again. You said 10. I know. Start talking. Elliot pulled a manila folder from the seat beside him. He'd stopped by his house on the way here. The folder was thick, heavy. The kind of heavy that held a whole life. Before I show you anything, I need you to know something. I am not trying to convince you that you're my wife. I am not trying to take you anywhere. If you walk out of this diner right now and never speak to me again, I will respect that. I will leave you alone forever. Do you understand? Hope's shoulders dropped 1/4 of an inch. Yes. Okay. He slid the folder across the table. Open it when you're ready. She stared at it. For a long time she didn't move. Then, with the careful hands of a woman who'd learned to handle everything in her life like it might explode, she opened the folder. The first photograph was a wedding picture. A younger Elliot in a grey suit, laughing. And beside him, a woman in a simple white dress with wildflowers in her hair, laughing so hard she was almost crying. Hope made a small sound, like something in her chest had cracked. That's my face? Yes. She touched the photograph. Her finger traced the curve of her own jaw. The smile that was her smile, the eyes that were her eyes. I don't remember this. Her voice was shaking. I don't remember this day. I don't remember him. I don't remember me. How can that be my face? Keep going. She turned the page. A photograph of the two of them in a canoe on Lake Washington. Another of them dancing at somebody's wedding. Another of Hannah in a lab coat, grinning over a microscope, while Elliot held up a mug that said World's OKest Husband. I'm a scientist. You're a geneticist. You ran the research division of your family's biotech company. You merged it with mine 3 years before the accident. That's actually how we met. We had a fight about patent rights in a conference room, and you threw a highlighter at my head. A sound came out of Hope that was half laugh, half sob. That sounds like something I would do. I don't know why, but it does. Keep going. She turned the page, a photograph of Hannah standing beside a tall, handsome man who looked a little like Elliot but younger. Softer around the eyes, he had his arm around her shoulders, he was smiling. Hope stared at the picture, her whole body went rigid. Who is that? That's my brother, Damon. No. She pushed the photograph away like it had burned her. No. No, no, no. Hope. I know him. Her voice had gone thin, high. I know that face. I see that face in my dreams. Oh God, I know that face. Elliot leaned forward. Hope, tell me. What do you see in the dreams? She was breathing too fast. Snow, headlights, a car, somebody's carrying me. I can't move. I can't feel my legs. And he's talking to somebody on the phone. He's saying, her voice broke. He's saying she's still breathing. What do you want me to do with her? The diner went silent. Elliot couldn't breathe. Hope. I thought they were nightmares. Tears were streaming down her face now. The doctors said it was trauma. They said the brain invents things to fill the blanks. They said to ignore them. I've been ignoring them for 5 years. They weren't nightmares. No. Her voice was almost inaudible. No, they weren't. I need to tell you what I think happened, Elliot said quietly, and I need you to tell me if any of it feels true. Not remembered. Just true. In your body. Can you do that? Hope nodded. Barely. 5 years ago, in February, you were driving home from Spokane. A semi lost its brakes. You went off the road in Snoqualmie Pass. Your car ended up in a ravine 200 feet down. The recovery team couldn't reach it until April. When they did, the driver's seat was empty and the door was torn off. She was nodding slowly. Not in recognition, just listening. The official story was that you'd been ejected and swept down the river. We buried an empty coffin. My brother gave the eulogy. My brother packed up your things. My brother took a hospital bracelet out of your jewelry box, so that if anybody ever matched a Jane Doe to you, they wouldn't have anything to compare. Hope's hand went to her wrist, reflexive, like her body remembered something her mind didn't. I was wearing a hospital bracelet when they found me, she whispered. A different one? From the Yakima hospital. But I keep it. I don't know why I keep it. It's in a drawer at home. Your mother made you promise, when you were 9 years old, that you'd keep your birth hospital bracelet forever. You kept everyone you ever got after that. Even from routine checkups. It was a thing with you. Hope put her face in her hands. Oh my God. Hope, I think my brother was on the mountain that night. She didn't look up. I think he was on his way home from a ski trip in Leavenworth. I think he came around a bend and saw your car go off the road. I think he climbed down there because he saw a chance. And I think when he got to you, you were still alive. Why? Her voice was muffled by her hands. Why would he do that to me? Because of the merger. She looked up. What? Your family's biotech company had patents worth about $600 million when we merged. The merger agreement said that if you died without a will, and you hadn't made one yet, because you were 34 and nobody thinks they need a will at 34, those patents would pass to me as your spouse. Which happened. I inherited them. I didn't care. I didn't want them. I wanted you. But Damon is the COO of Sinclair Pharmaceuticals. He's been slowly positioning himself for 10 years to take over the company. 2 years ago, he tried to push me out during a board vote. He lost. Barely. If I'd died in the grief year after you disappeared, which I almost did, Hope, I almost drank myself to death, Damon would have inherited everything. Your patents, my company, all of it. Hope's face had gone chalk white. If you'd come home, everything Damon had done would have come undone. The patents would have reverted to you. The inheritance line would have changed. And worse than that, you would have remembered what he did on that mountain. So he kept me alive but hidden. He kept you alive but hidden, where he could watch you, where he could make sure you never started remembering, where he could step in and move you again if you ever did. My God. Hope wrapped both arms around herself. My God, Elliot. For 5 years. 5 years I've been pushing a mop past your office door and I... She couldn't finish. Elliot reached across the table, slowly, giving her every chance to pull away. She didn't. He covered her hand with his. Her hand was so cold. I'm going to fix this, he said quietly. I don't care what it costs me. I don't care if it takes the rest of my life. I am going to fix this. They sat in that diner until 3 a.m. Hope asked questions, 1,000 questions. What was her mother like? What was her father like? Did she have siblings? Did she have a dog? What was her favorite food? Did she like her job? Were they happy? Were they really happy, or did she just say they were? Elliot answered every single one. Her mother Margaret had died of breast cancer when Hannah was 22. Her father David had died of a heart attack 6 months later, of what Hannah always called a broken heart that didn't want to keep going. She had no siblings. She'd had a black Labrador named Biscuit, who'd lived to be 16. Her favorite food was her grandmother's apple pie, which she'd never been able to replicate no matter how many times she tried. She'd loved her job, loved it the way some people love a calling. And yes, they'd been happy, really happy. The kind of happy that made you nervous because you kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. And then it did, Hope whispered, and then it did. At 3 a.m. she said something that nearly broke him. Elliot, I can't be her. I can't be Hannah. I don't have her memories. I don't have her feelings. I don't know her mother. I don't know her dog. I don't know how to love you. I'm not her. I'm Hope. He was quiet for a long moment, then he said very gently, Okay. Okay. Then be Hope. You don't have to be Hannah. You don't have to remember anything. You don't have to love me. You don't have to come home with me. Hope, I'm not asking you to be my wife again. I'm asking you to let me help you get justice for what was done to you. That's all. Whatever happens after that is your choice. Completely. Always. Hope looked at him for a long moment. Then she said, Okay. The plan took 3 weeks to build. Andre brought in an old friend from Army CID, a woman named Colette Rainsford, who now ran a private investigation firm out of Bellevue. Colette pulled cell tower data from Damon's phone for the night of February 14th, 5 years ago. Damon had told everyone he was at a ski lodge in Leavenworth the night Hannah died. His phone told a different story. His phone had pinged a tower 3 miles from the crash site at 10:02 p.m. 15 minutes after Hannah's Audi went over the embankment. Another tower near Ellensburg at 11:47 p.m. Another near Yakima at 1:18 a.m. He hadn't been at a ski lodge. He'd been on the mountain, and he'd driven Hannah 60 miles through a snowstorm to dump her on a county road. Colette went further. She found credit card records showing Damon had purchased 2 prepaid burner phones 2 weeks before the crash. She found a wire transfer of $80,000 from a shell company controlled by Damon to a private neurologist in Yakima, the same neurologist who'd treated Jane Doe when she arrived at the hospital with a head injury. The neurologist had diagnosed severe dissociative amnesia, permanent, and had strongly advised against aggressive memory recovery therapy. He'd been paid to keep her from remembering. Colette found more, a series of monthly payments from the same shell company to Pinnacle Facilities Management, the janitorial contractor, small payments, quiet payments. Labeled as consulting fees, Damon had been paying to keep Hannah employed on the Sinclair Pharmaceuticals contract, keeping her close, watching her, like a cat watches a mouse it hasn't decided to eat yet. When Colette laid all of this out on Elliot's dining room table, Andre let out a low whistle. "Sir, this is enough to put him in prison for the rest of his natural life." "I know," Elliot said. "So we call the FBI." "Not yet." Andre looked at him. "Sir." "Not yet, Andre." Elliot's voice was quiet. "I want to hear him say it. I want him to look me in the face and tell me why. And I want Hope to be there when he does. Because she deserves that." "Sir, that's risky." "I know." Elliot looked across the dining room to where Hope was sitting on his back porch in the dusk, watching the lake. She'd come out here to see his house. Their house. She hadn't stepped inside, she'd just stood at the edge of the dock for a long time, looking at the water, like something in her was trying very hard to remember. "I know it's risky," Elliot said again, "but she deserves her day. And so do I. Family, we're getting close to the moment where Damon Sinclair finds out his whole house of cards is about to come down. But before we get there, I need you to do something for me. If you've made it this far in the story, tap that like button right now. And drop the word justice in the comments. Because what Elliot is about to do to his own brother is something a lot of us have dreamed about doing to somebody who hurt us. You're not alone. I see you. Subscribe if you haven't, because the confrontation is coming and you do not want to miss it. Back to the story. Elliot invited Damon to dinner, Sunday night, 7 o'clock, at the Mercer Island house. "Been thinking," Elliot said on the phone, keeping his voice light, tired, brotherly. "It's been 5 years next week, since Hannah. I think I want to talk. I haven't really let myself talk about her. Not with you, not with anybody." There was a pause on the line. Then Damon said, in a voice so warm and caring it made Elliot's skin crawl, "Big brother, I've been waiting for you to be ready for 5 years. Of course I'll come. I'll bring wine. Thanks, Damon. I love you, man. Love you too." Elliot hung up the phone and went into the bathroom and threw up. At 6:47 p.m. on Sunday, Andre parked Elliot's car in the driveway. Hope sat in the passenger seat. She was wearing a dark grey sweater and jeans. Her hair was pulled back. She looked tired, determined, terrified. "You don't have to do this," Elliot said quietly. "I can do it without you. Colette has enough for a conviction. You don't have to be in the room." "Yes, I do." Hope's voice was steady. "He took 5 years from me, Elliot. 5 years. I want him to see my face when he finds out I'm still here." Andre turned in the driver's seat. "Mom, let me say something. One investigator to one survivor. Stand behind Mr. Sinclair. Let him lead the conversation. If Damon makes any sudden movement, you get behind me and you stay behind me. I'll be in the kitchen with the recording equipment. Colette and 2 of her people will be outside. At the first sign this goes wrong, we move in. Do you understand?" "Yes." "Good.